The question now is, what is the difference between self-respect and ego? Ego is usually understood to be arrogance, and I'm assuming that this question is asked from the perspective of arrogance, but just to complete the picture, let's define what an ego is. Ego is that in us which attributes this body, mind, intellect to myself. That thing in me which claims things as mine is philosophically taken to be ego. So our ego really is that in us which says this body is mine, these emotions are mine, this intellect is mine. Now when we have an exaggerated form of ego, then it goes into things like arrogance. But philosophically speaking, even things like, oh, I'm not good enough, is also ego, because still you have attributed this body, mind, intellect to yourself, and you say that it's not good enough, I'm not good enough. So ego is not necessarily arrogance, it can also be inferior feelings. Both come from the same basic ego as understood by philosophy, this arrogation to myself, the arrogation of these equipments to myself. But if we take ego to be arrogance, in the sense like people say don't have an ego, so you take it in the sense of don't be arrogant, then what is arrogance? Arrogance is manifests in two ways. One is when I have a lot of desires and my desires are being fulfilled fortunately, people who have less than me, I'm arrogant towards, so that's one way of being arrogant. The other way of being arrogant is always include some comparison between me and others, that says that I am somehow better than you, my work is better than you, something of me is better than you. So I've attributed this body, mind, intellect to myself, and I'm comparing it to yours, and I'm saying this one is better. This is an egoistical stance. Now what is self-respect? Self-respect can be understood in two ways. The highest way, of course, is respect for that divine self within us. Why am I looking down on these equipments which are actually a temple for that divine self within me? So that is self-respect. When I am able to understand that these equipments are housing that divinity, that greatness within me, and these equipments are going to help me reach that divinity, to unfold that divinity, I develop a respect for them. I don't look down on them. I don't poo-poo them. I treat them with respect. It's taking me, it's helping me in my journey, so I treat it with respect. This is from a philosophical angle, that I treat my equipments with respect, my body, mind, intellect with respect. I take care of them, I look after them. I treat it like I would treat any worthwhile commodity, and I treat it such because I realize that it houses the divinity. This is from a philosophical standpoint. From a more relative standpoint, self-respect can be distinguished from ego, because self-respect is when I am able to appreciate my own abilities without negating other people's abilities. When I'm able to appreciate my own contribution to something without ignoring the contribution of others. In other words, I can clearly see my contribution and everybody's contribution, and I have respect for it all. So self-respect and ego can be treated in these various ways, and its various permutations and combinations.